Right, boys and girls, the new selector rods have come. I didn't replace the reverse selector rod. I replaced the first and second and third and fourth selector rods. So those are brand new rods. The two selector forks are also brand new, but not the reverse selector fork. They're wired in with the stainless steel wire. Now I'll explain to you now why it kept popping out, why the bearings in the bottom here on the synchro ring hubs, the bearings, the two bearings and three bearings and springs kept popping out, and I could never figure out why it was. But this end of the selector rod, what sit into the bell housing, I've got a new gasket on there, by the way, ready to put the bell housing on. Inside the bell housing, where the selector rods go, if you look carefully down there, you'll see there's a piece of, well, it's like a rubber, thick piece of rubber, and it's that sort of shape. That's a piece of sponge underlay carpet, like soundproofing underlay, that I thought I might be able to replace it with. But anyway, I found a piece of linoleum, and that was the reason. That piece of stuff in the bottom of there stops the rods from just pushing that extra 1/8 of an inch into the bell housing, and that extra 1/8 of an inch was causing the springs and the bearings to pop out inside the synchro hub, and often that piece is missing. Now that piece had actually fallen out while I was doing some cleaning work and everything, and it was only later on that I found it and realised where it was from. There isn't one in this end, there isn't one in the adapter plate end. I did try putting one in there, but then the selector rods weren't moving far enough back, so it was only in the forward motion. And you must also remember, on the bell housing, there's a little shim, and it fits over the edge of the bearing there, like so, and that's to hold the bearing tight to the bell housing. Otherwise, there's a chance that this outer race could spin in the gearbox. So that's just an extra thing that they put in there to make sure that it's tight against the bearing. So you must remember to put that little shim fits inside the bell housing here, and I'll put some grease on there to hold it in situ, or a bit of gasket sealer on there to hold it in situ. There's also new ball races in between the two selector forks. I've got two new ball bearings in there, and I've got 3 new ball bearings for the top of here, but not the springs, so that's going to be all new. Now the bell housing gasket, I've put some of the fuel-proof gasket sealer. I've put some of this stuff on it, and that's just to help seal it. Permatex gasket. So that's going on both sides of there. Now you must also remember to put something on the threads that go into the bell housing. So I'm gonna paint those with the gasket sealer as well. Just the ends of the threads. It'll act as a semi-Loctite, but it'll also prevent oil seeping, because all these nine bolts go into the gearbox. They go right through into the gearbox itself, into the casing. So put a bit of gasket sealer on there, and I will actually replace the original washers, these spring washers. I'm going to put some copper washers on behind there. But I'm just going to put 2 or 3 on now to hold it in place. So that was the whole delay on the gearbox, was wondering why all that was popping out of gear. So there you go on there. So I can select all the gears. They're going in quite easily. I won't demonstrate it now for you, because I haven't got the springs and cover on and everything. But we're getting well. The gearbox will be finished today, and I'll get on to testing it when it's bolted onto the engine along with the engine. So thanks for watching these, and I hope that explains some of the problems that we've come across.